Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is where you are, and welcome back to another episode on the Annoy Dad channel. In today's episode, you've probably worked it out from the title, I'm going to take you on a tour of the orchard. Now, I am, honestly, there we go, once I get the gate open, it does need a new gate put in on it, which is one of the things I will get on to doing. Now, the reason why I am bringing you on a tour of the orchard is because if you remember back to the first video I did where I introduced the farm, there was stuff up to here. You couldn't walk into the orchard at all. There's absolutely no way of getting into here. But now it's all been cleared, you can actually get in. And it turns out it's a bit of a gold mine. I didn't expect it to be quite what it is and to have quite what it has got. So I thought we'd do a little bit of a tour, mainly, and I'll be honest with you, because I like being honest, mainly because I've got other big projects going on, which I'm not going to have done quick enough to be able to get a video up for this weekend. For you guys, no, not this weekend, Wednesday this one's going up on. I'm not going to have a video done or a project finished quick enough to be able to get the video up on Wednesday to be able to show you everything. So I'm going to whiz you around the orchard now, and it's actually in two parts. So there's this part here, which is the main part, and then there's another part that we'll whiz off to and have a look. So, as I just explained, came in here, at first, everything was up at like 6 foot tall, the lot of it. There was raspberries everywhere. So if we go down and we look at the floor, let's go over this way first, because this will explain it slightly better to you. So you can see we've got these here, which are remnants of raspberry cane, and obviously I came in with the brush cutter, sliced it all down, and you can see where they're starting to come up again, and they're doing that all over the place, literally everywhere. So what we've seen since we done it is we actually thought that these two trees here were dead, but you can see they're plum trees, and ever since we've just cut everything back, cut everything down, they've sprung back into life again. A bit of a strange time of year for them to do it, but they've done it. Now, you'll also know if you watch our videos that we brought up the 12 chickens who are the egg to chicken ones, and we put them in here. They were actually the first animals up here, and they've done a fantastic job, as you'll see in just a moment. They have gone round and they've just basically cleared all of the areas I couldn't get to. But you can also see, and you've also heard, that we've also got the turkeys up here. So we've got the 4 turkeys, or the 5 turkeys we hatched this year, and Mr. Gobbler up here with them as well. And they are eating the fallen fruit, they are clearing the place, they're eating leaves off plants, and they're doing lots of other bits and pieces. So let's start off with what have we got? Well, this is a plum tree, obviously. And you can see it's just been left, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown, and nobody's done anything with it. So come January, our major thing is going to be to get in there and prune it, and prune it like mad. So these are, I think these are leftover raspberries. We've got raspberries, we've got black currants, we've got red currants, we've got all sorts. So if we come through, you can see this here, this is a pear tree. Plenty of pears on it, but all the fruit is quite small, mainly because it hasn't had the light coming through to it, and that can be seen in evidence on this apple tree here. Like, those fruits are just tiny, they are tiny little fruits, and the whole tree is like that. This one behind it, this one's a plum tree. This gives off orangey yellow plums. They're mainly yellow more than anything else. But again, you can see just over time it's grown up that high, you've got zero chance of being able to get the fruit up at the top of it. Whereas these plums over here, I believe these are Victoria plums. I'm not 100%, but I believe they are. And you can see, you come around here. So I keep saying you can see, can't you? I'll give myself a slap round the face, and I'll tell myself to stop saying it. I believe they are Golden Delicious apples. So we're quite looking forward to them coming in very soon. And if we come over here, these look like Cox's pippins, or similar. And then again, these trees, where they're lower and they've been pruned a a little bit more, and they've been taken a little bit of care of, and the grass and stuff wasn't quite up as high. You can see they are absolutely dripping with fruit. There is so much of it on there. Those are cooking apples by the looks of it. More apples. This one here I'm not too sure on, there's nothing hanging off of it. Again, this one here I believe is plum, but nothing on it. And then we've got again a pear one, but all the fruit is quite small. More cooking apples, I believe, or are they golden delicious? I don't know. My apple identification skills aren't very good, but I'll find out once I start to eat it. So if I basically stand here and look this way, turn on the thingy, there we go. So what you can see here is basically what met me when I walked in. Here I've left all of the raspberries, mixed in with all of the trees and everything else. This is one area yet that I haven't cleared. So we've got more black currants, more pears, more apples. This is another plum tree, but again you can see it's where it's just been left, it's an absolute nightmare. More apples. Coming round here again. More apples. Also in amongst that there is more black currants. There is some blackberries as well, but I'm one of those who likes to chop out the blackberries rather than leaving the blackberries in. But again you can see more apples. Little tiny fruits again. So I'm hoping next year, fingers crossed all being well, we'll be able to get them up to being larger fruits. And some trees have struggled. There is no denying that. If I stand around here, if I stand you around here, and if we look straight down this way here, you can see that the hedge is there. I know on the camera it looks like it's there, but the hedge is actually about there. It's about there where it goes. And from there to the outer fence is roughly 8 foot. So this hedge here, which isn't any kind of fruit, has grown in by 8 foot from the fence at the side there. Now, I don't mind hedges growing. I don't mind if that hedge is maybe 4 foot thick, but that whole hedge has just got to be pushed right back, and that's not going to happen until maybe January time. I am going to leave a lot of the height in it because it hides what I'm doing down here. I did have somebody ask me, I can't remember your name, sorry, I am no good at this. I read the comments and I know you're a subscriber and I know you're a regular person, but I can never remember your name. I can't ever remember anybody's name, so don't take it personally. I was asked, did I think of doing any hedge laying? And I am all for hedge laying, absolutely, but with these hedges here I need to keep some height in them. I might explain that one day. You might have worked out why already, but yeah, I need to keep a bit of height in these ones. But these pears, well, that one's been attacked by something at the top there. A wasp or something has got in there and attacked that one. But these pears are looking quite nice, quite big. But if you look at the tree, you can see that the tree is growing outwards and upwards. There isn't anything growing back that way because of that hedge. And you can see how much that hedge is actually growing forward. So this is a cherry tree, this one just here. Cherry trees are nice, they're good for the bees, but once the bees have done the pollination, unless you place a net over the top of them, the chances of you getting any more than just like a handful of cherries off of a cherry tree is absolutely zero, because the birds will get them all. And if we look just down here, let me take you down, go down camera, down, 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 down. You can see just there, that little bit with some white stuff in it, that is the wasp nest that I hit when I was doing the strimming in here. And yeah, I got some of the squirty stuff, squirty expanding wasp killer stuff, and that went in there, and that done a cracking job. And then just to make sure, I put the ant powder down afterwards just to finish it all off. So you can see these pears here, they haven't exactly developed very well, and I can only presume it's because of the lack of light that they've had. Yes, we have had a very, very dry summer. It has been really, really dry. But if these things haven't had the light, then I can't see how they could have done so well. So yeah, we've got more apples, 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 apples. We've got more plums. these plums here. I am leaving these plums here. I am hoping, fingers crossed, that they are going to last until the weekend. This video is going up on Wednesday. I'm hoping they're going to last until at least Friday on the tree. They should do. They should do, all things being well, because Owen, they're for you. I've got some visitors coming down this weekend and my godson is going to have to try the plums. So yeah, anyway, coming over to this corner, you can see we've got more apple trees. This one here's a little bit spindly, and if we go, let's go in. We've got this one here which is a plum, and you'll be able to see what I mean about the lack of light and the lack of things for things to be able to grow. So on the floor here, I have sliced down branches off the trees already, and I have cleared a little bit to allow some light into here. But if you look at this pear tree here, and you follow up the branch, you can see that there is that one branch. Take it up. I don't know if you can see it exactly well, but it has just gone straight up. See that straight line there? That's the branch just going straight up, aiming for light, because it's struggling for the light whilst it is trapped here in this corner. So, but if we walk over here I am in the undergrowth. You'll see there's a hedge, and the hedge is overhanging, again, massively overhanging. This is the one I explained a few weeks back that I was started to slice it down, but the huge amount of material that's in it isn't going to be worth my while doing it now, but if I leave it till January, say, then it will be worth my while. And if you also look from here, you can see we've got this is either red currant or black currant along here, and then we've got nothing has grown underneath where that hedge has gone, but the trees are all growing towards the middle. And again, if we look back this way, where I've got those trees here which are growing outwards, there's nothing growing underneath. So I need to just come along and just take down the inside of these hedges. If anybody does have any ideas, questions, queries, comments, concerns, anything at all, leave them down below, because I'm very much open to ideas. I am sort of learning as I go along. I do have a basic base knowledge, but I'm adding to it, and anything anybody can say helps all the way. This tree has actually done incredibly well. It does look at some point as if somebody's actually pruned it, or the root stock was a dwarf root stock, but it is absolutely laden up with fruit. Now, what I was saying about the chickens doing an absolutely fantastic job, if we go down, you can see the chickens just over there. I am on the GoPro, so the zoom is non-existent on it, but you can see light through to the field that you couldn't see beforehand. So these guys have basically come in and they have gone to the places where I couldn't and cleared it, and they've done fantastically. I am really, really chuffed with them. Oh, so there's Big G, Mr. Gobbler, looking after his 5 others. We had a person up last weekend to come up, and they helped to move the horses, and they done what everybody does when they come in and they see Mr. Gobbler. They just done that wow. Because I must admit, in the UK there's not a lot of turkey people. There's not a lot of turkeys about, other than if you're talking about farming turkeys. There's plenty of them, but to actually walk onto somebody's farm and just see a turkey, you're just like, whoa. So as I said, that was part 1 of the orchard. This is part 2, and this is where the bees actually came from. The bees were kept in here. So yeah, if you're a beekeeper, this is where the bees were kept. Yeah, exactly. Right, I'm thinking that too. So, in other words, it's dark. It's probably got damp, and it's a bit dingy, and it's not the sort of place where you want to keep bees when you need to warm up the hives and you need to get things going of a morning. You don't want them in shade, hidden away, because over the winter they will get damp, they will get cold, which is probably why so many of the colonies were lost. So what have we got? Again, we've got apple trees, and the fruit in here is small again. Now you can see with this apple tree here, that there's plenty of distance between the apple tree and the hedge. But because it's just been left to go, well, the tree and the hedge have just been left to go, the tree's actually growing out over the hedge, and we've got apples on the other side of the hedge, which is quite, I wouldn't say concerning, but it's quite interesting, shall we say. But it also means that I'm not slicing anything back outside until the fruit's gone over. So we've got that one there. I think that one there is a plum, I do believe, but there's no fruit on it. This one here, again, I also believe is a plum, but again, it doesn't have any fruit on it, because if you go from the plum straight up, that's hedge, and it's just hanging over the top. And if I point you up, you can see that's what's up above it. So that is blocking off all of the light for everything underneath. And then we've got this one here, which is a cherry tree. That's a very nice cherry tree. But again, it's just been allowed to go, and it's huge, it's monstrous. And whilst one cherry tree is good, it's actually right next to another cherry tree, which is here. And then we've got fruit trees along here. So the cherries are blocking out the light for these other fruit trees. So I've got to decide, what do I want to keep and what do I want to go? I think it's going to be quite easy to work out, because if you look at these apples, you see that's just pathetic. I've had chicken nuggets that are bigger than that. And then if we come down here, this is another apple tree, and again you can see at one point that would have been well looked after. That looks as if it was pruned and looked after, but now it's just been left, it's just sprawling. And if we turn all the way around, go back 180, you can see we've got another plum tree just here with some plums on it. But this plum tree is growing over and fighting and competing with this apple tree. And this apple tree is growing, let's go this way, it's growing over and fighting with this apple tree. And that's also fighting with that apple tree. And then we get a little bit of light, and we find that we have this apple tree, which has actually got some light above it and has found its own little corner, which again is laden with fruit. But that's right next to this cherry tree, which looks like it was sliced down at one point. Ah dear. Right, let's keep going a little bit further, not too much more, don't worry. Let's go back round and down and under without getting poked in the head by branches. Okay, so yeah, this tree, which is laden with fruit, you can see again at some point it would have been lovely and pruned, but it's just been allowed to just explode and go. Nobody's looked after it. Then we've got this one, that one, that one, and then a little one down at the end. And that is currently it for the apple trees and the plum trees and the pear trees and everything else. So what my plan is that I'm actually going to prune these down, obviously, get them right back down, and then I am going to expand and build some more. This year with the fruit, we are going to eat what we can, we are going to store what we can, we are going to preserve what we can, and we're going to make into cider what we can. Because I think that would be quite cool, just to try to make some cider. Even if the cider fails and we end up with apple cider vinegar, I can give that to the chickens, which is quite handy. So it could be a nice little byproduct. But yeah, I just thought you would like to see that. That is the orchard. It is a mass of overgrownness, a mass of trees that need trimming back, trimming down. Like even if we stand here, you can stand here, let's see, and look at this plum tree. Like, I know it's not very good with the GoPro trying to look at things in detail, but look at that, that's how high it goes. There is fruit, I don't know if you can see it. Right, I'm going to lift you up. I'm 6'3" and a little bit. So if I stretch all the way up, I'm going up at least 8 foot, but you can see, hopefully, there is, straight in front of you, plums. And there's absolutely zero chance that anybody's going to reach them without having a ladder. So the whole lot just needs bringing straight down and get it growing in such a way that we can actually harvest from it. So if you do have any experience, anything at all, a little comment of just with apple trees I do blah blah blah, or with plum trees I do blah blah blah, whilst you might not think it's exactly right and exactly perfect and exactly what anybody wants to hear, everything helps me. And I'm going to do that thing you do when you have your first baby. I don't know if you guys ever done this, but when you have your first kid, there's all these people who turn around to you and say, to get your baby to sleep at night, you get it into a good routine and you lay it down every night at 7:30. And then there's other people who will say, to get your baby to sleep at night, you have to cuddle it and you have to hold it and you have to wait till it falls asleep and then lay it down in its bed. And then you get other people who turn around and say, get your baby to sleep at night, you just leave it and it cries and then it goes to sleep. So what you do with that is you take all of those bits of advice, you chuck them all up in the air and you pick the bits that work for you. So they're all good bits of advice, they all might work, but they might not work exactly for me. So I just chose the little bits that did work for me, and I didn't offend anybody because I didn't do the exact opposite of what they said, and I didn't do exactly what they said. So I kept everybody happy. So yeah, even if you have just a little bit of advice, anything for me with these, that would be fantastic. I am going to look at taking cuttings from the plum and from the pear. I'm not going to take cuttings from the apple. I'm actually going to buy in apple trees because I already know about the rootstock and the grafting and everything else like that, and I'm not even going to attempt to do grafting or seeds or anything else like that. So yeah, if you've got any advice, any help at all, please do leave it down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching another video where I have just basically waffled on for, I don't know, how long have we been filming for? Oh my god, 20 minutes? My god. Go and have a cup of coffee, have something stronger. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, bye bye.